Are you Apology a world famous marathoner?
Yes, are you having trouble running in these cold, harsh weather conditions?
Yeah.
Well, look at what you're wearing. You have nothing to protect your chest from the cold weather. You should try our new Nike Pro Combat Compression Shirt. Here's our trainer, Adhi and Prab, to tell you more.
I'm Rob. And I'm Adhi. We're trainers here at the Nike facility testing out Nike's new compression gear.
We partnered up with MIT chemist Dr. Broom, and we're testing how the temperature affects our lungs.
As you can see, we've set the average temperature to 4 degrees Fahrenheit in order to match the temperature of Willow, Alaska, which our runners will be taking place in the Willow Winter Solstice Marathon.
Let's send it over to Dr. Broom now so he can explain to you guys how it works.
Welcome, Willow Marathon runners. Here we are in the Chem Lab. Prab explained to you how Nike Pro Combat works. Basically, it takes advantage of a gas law called Charles' Law. Charles' Law says that as temperature increases, volume also increases. What Nike Pro Combat does is it tries to keep your chest warm and your lungs warm so the air doesn't get cold. As we can see in this graph of Charles' Law, as temperature increases, volume increases. This is what we call a direct relationship. As Willow marathoners are running, the temperature in their body drops and drops and drops. And then that also means that the volume of their lungs also gets reduced. So as the temperature goes down, the volume goes down. So the equation for this is K equals V over T. The reason David was feeling tired was because if this was his lung and the air molecules are all around, the hot air keeps the air molecules apart and their average kinetic energy, which is also called temperature, is high. The gas particles are moving around in his lung. But what happens when the temperature drops is that the kinetic energy of the particles drop too, and the gas molecules move closer together in a tighter space. In order for Charles' Law to work, the pressure in the lung must remain constant, because if the pressure goes down or up, serious lung damage can occur. So what happens to the lung is it starts to contract. And what happens when the lung contracts is that our lung capacity goes down, which is one of the reasons why David was feeling tired after running in the cold. Here we have a balloon. This represents David's lung as he's running. Right now in room temperature, the air particles in his lung are moving around and they have a high kinetic energy or a high temperature. But when we go outside, we can see that the balloon actually gets smaller because the air particles get closer and they condense. The balloon also reduces size. Here we see that we have put tape around the balloon to see how much the balloon actually contracts. Here's another representation of our lung. This is at room temperature. The gas molecules are moving around and they're fairly spaced out. But what happens when the cold air hits is that the gas molecules move closer together, which causes the volume of the lung to decrease. So now we can see that the lung has decreased greatly in volume. And this is not good for runners because they don't have as much lung capacity and they won't be able to breathe as well. Nike Pro Combat acts as a shield. It acts as a shield against the wind. So then the gas inside expands again. As the moisture gets pulled out, the temperature in the lungs starts to rise again and provides a better experience for the runner. And the gas molecules can move freely again. What keeps a runner going is his or her Vo2 Max. What Vo2 Max is the maximum amount of air that the lung can hold. You Willow runners will probably have a lower Vo2 max than many marathon runners such as the Olympics, or maybe even the Boston Marathon. People who have a lower Vo2 max, it makes it harder for them to breathe because their lung can't hold enough air. The Vo2 max is nothing but the liters of oxygen per minute. David's Vo2 max was greatly reduced due to the harsh weather conditions. As we saw with the tennis ball demonstration, our lung capacity gets reduced, which makes it harder for us to run. When you're running a race like a 5K or even a marathon, you breathe harder and your body requires more oxygen to keep it going. But when your lung can't provide that kind of oxygen, you get tired faster and lung damage can occur. Nike Pro Combat helps prevent this by increasing the temperature in your lungs and making it safer for you to run in harsh weather conditions. We've come back to the lab to see how David's lung functioned. Let's zoom in on this. As you can see, the creases in the masking tape represent that the balloon actually did decrease in size. So his lung capacity actually goes down when we go outside. Here's Prab for a demonstration of how Nike Pro Combat actually works. The athlete gets an extra layer of protection which protects against wind, and with our new dry fit technology, it takes moisture out of the athlete and absorbs it into the material. By taking the moisture and the cold out of Prab, his lungs stay warmer and have more capacity, making him less tired. Let's give this to David so he can try this out.
Hi, David.
Hey, Paula.
How do you feel after that run in these cold, harsh weather conditions?
I feel great.
So the compression gear really helped you?
Yeah, these compression gears really helped me during my run.
Now that we have gotten positive feedback from David, Nike plans on sponsoring the 2013 Willow Winter Solstice Run, and we plan to provide compression gear to all of the athletes to help them do better.
Along with David's positive results, we're proud to work with our partners at Indiana University and their trainers. Their trainers conducted an experiment with their cross-country athletes who run in the winter. They took 25 athletes and equipped them with compression gear and noticed how they would feel after the run. After the run, they all said that they felt great, just like David did in his run. As you can see, this compression gear clearly works in order to help athletes everywhere run, which is why it will help in the Willow Solstice Run in Alaska in this winter.
I'm very proud to say that Nike has had a lot of success with these experiments. Our mission as Nike is to provide athletes with better gear, which will enhance their performance. I really want to thank Dr. Varun for all the work he has done in this area.
Come on, Prab, don't thank me. Thank science.
As a proud sponsor of the Willow Winter Solstice Marathon in Willow, Alaska, I strongly encourage you to purchase this Nike compression gear as a counteraction to the frigid weather conditions of Willow, Alaska. As you know, the Willow Winter Solstice is a very demanding and elongated marathon, and this compression gear will help you keep your body warm in order for you to succeed in the race.
We love oxygen.
Oxygen, we need it.
Compression gear, we want it.
Our race, we own it.
Nike, we do it.
What?
Let's